The Nigerian Consultative Employers Association, NICA, has expressed concerns about the repercussion of the continuous divestment of multinational companies in Nigeria. According to NICA, over 20,000 employees have been directly affected by job losses due to this recent divestment. It will be recalled that some major foreign companies recently shut down operations in Nigeria because of challenging business environment. In August, GlaxoSmithKline, GSK, a prominent British pharmaceutical company, announced its decision to conclude its activities in Nigeria after 51 years and subsequently withdraw from the Nigerian market. While during the weekend, the Chief Financial Officer of Procter & Gamble, Andre Shuttle, announced the company's plan to dissolve on its ground operation in Nigeria and then turn into import market, revealing that the company had a portfolio value of about $85 billion, with Nigeria contributing about $50 million in net sales, contributing a large total, as he said. As the primary responsibility of employers and business community in Nigeria, NICA, in a statement titled Urgent Action to Arrest the Growing Unemployment Rate and signed by Director General Adewale Oyuride, the organization warned about the dangers of the exiting of these companies to the country and said the government should do more to stop the divestment by multinationals. But the big question on the big story for today is, what will be the likely impact of these and further exiting of such companies, and what should the federal government do, especially this administration, in not just stopping this trend, but to further attract more companies than lose the existing ones? Well, these and more as it concerns these trends and fears expressed over the exiting of multinational is what this edition of The Big Story is all about. And we're talking about multinationals and their planned exit consequences on the nation. That's what we're having as a major discourse today on The Big Story. We're talking about multinationals leaving the shores of this country, their planned exit, and what consequences would we have for Africa's biggest economy, Nigeria. But anyway, talking about it, we always enjoy doing so, just for us to understand what the dynamics are and what better way to address them, knowing that job losses will not only put pains on the hearts of many Nigerians, but will also increase the growing insecurity that we seem to be experiencing. But anyway, to share that experience with us and the view on it, we have no other person but Comrade Emeka Owokocha is of the Civil Society for Good Governance, joining us on this very important discussion. Good morning and welcome to the show, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Mike. Thank you for having me.
Well, anyways, rather I want us to just dive deep into it because it's already raising a whole lot of concerns and fears, especially coming from the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, who really expressed their deep disappointment and expressed their fears of the likelihood of what will follow. But according to our own findings, and I'm talking about Quest today, we've had at least 5 multinational companies wind down operation in Nigeria in the last 10 months, according to our findings. And just during the weekend, like I said in my introduction, the Chief Financial Officer of Procter & Gamble, Andre Shuttle, announced the company is shutting down of its manufacturing operation in Nigeria. And funny enough, that information was announced in New York at a business conference where we had other likely investors that might have been eyeing our market. But anyway, let's leave that. But I rather want to ask you, what's your reaction to this divestment and others in the last 10 months? 5 major multinationals leaving our manufacturing market.
Yes. Very sadistic development, an indictment on the Nigerian government, and it still tells you that Nigeria is not a safe haven for business to thrive. Now, you will agree with me that, so to say, the largest economy in the Africa, which has never in any way translated to any good in terms of improving the livelihood of the people. And the president has come, he understands the circumstances bedeviling the country, knowing fully well that our economy is currently at comatose, and he is not telling us that he will hit the ground running. He will ensure that he attracts foreign direct investment to shore up investment and boost local production so that our economy can thrive, people can have job, people can have money in their pocket, and the livelihood of the people can increase going forward. This news, this data you are getting now, I did say that it's a total indictment of the country. It shows that the country has lost direction. Because you cannot be telling international community that you are rolling out policies, brilliant policies, to influence, encourage investors into this country. And those you have
are leaving.
And they are not leaving because of liquidation, bad management. The problem they are citing is that the environment is too hostile for business to survive. So, and the chief business officer of Procter & Gamble made that statement in New York at an economic symposium where you would have gone to shop for investors to come to this country. So, what is hurting us?
Honestly, I would have loved to get what the investors might be thinking when the announcement was made.
What is hurting us?
The reaction of yours.
Yes, what is hurting us now, Mr. Mike, is that what we failed to do over the years, the cumulative bad management of our economy over the years, is now staring us in the face.
Come back to home.
Like my people will say, when you cut the branch of the stem of a leaf, it will still be dropping liquids. It does not automatically dry that time. Maybe you walk deeper into the forest. On your return, you will definitely come to find out that that portion has dried up. That tells you that the time has come for Nigeria to start reaping reaping the consequences of bad management of our economy. So, what we are saying to me is never a surprise because we know. Because they say you can only give what you have. When the president came on board here, if you recall, we at the civil society corner, we are calling on him to cleanse the urgent stable. That he should look into the economy of this country and ensure that he puts policies on ground that will, a kind of influence the investors and give them a sense of belonging so that those who are even warming up to quit will not see a reason to jettison that idea. And he would have acted quick. Because these multinationals don't think like you think here. Their being here is primarily on business purposes and how to make profit. They don't look at your face. They don't look at your beautiful faces. Because other countries are calling on them and giving them offers, palatable offers, that they could jump at. After all, what is here that will hold them? We are not seeing this. What have other companies that have put?
That will push me to ask you a next question. Because, like I said, yesterday, Quest Today was opportune to get the reaction of the chairman of Nigeria Association of Small and Medium Enterprises, Southwest Region, Mr. Solomon Ederoju. And he said Nigerians should expect more exit of companies due to the challenging business climate, which is not far from what Nika, he also said, saying that we should really brace up for the worst. But I have two questions for you on account of that. Now, do you see more multinationals leaving the shores of this nation in the months ahead? And what further impact would these have if they do leave on our manufacturing sector? Because that's where it is.
Yes, Mr. Mike, do I see multinationals leaving this country in the coming days, months, years? I will answer this question with this narrative. I stumbled on an article by one Obioma Madu.
Okay.
Obioma Madu, is a consummated consultant with Nigeria Export Promotion Council.
Okay.
He said, in the course of his investigation, because there was a time there was this export promotion grant given to companies to see how that could boost production locally. He said when he had an interview with the MD of Michelin in Port Harcourt, the MD brought out a book and showed him the cost of diesel he incurs in the cost of production yearly. And he told him that some of his machines are not linked to national grid because of the sensitivity of those machines.
Okay.
And he did make a statement to Mr. Obioma that if nothing timely was done, that the end might come. That means Michelin might quit. Like Manu said, he said, after 4 years, Michelin left Nigeria. Dunlop followed. What Michelin does now is to import tires into this country. And they are still being faced with the quagmire of forex. Now, if for instance power, which the MD of Michelin cited years ago, that was responsible for his leaving Nigeria, probably for Ghana. And that problem has even got worse. So what do you think other companies will do? For the angle of power only, out of the horrible instances that hurts manufacturing sectors in this country. So I will tell you, the companies that are surviving in Nigeria today, for me, I wonder how they do it. Even take the instances, draw an analogy from the small SMEs within the locality. At times I wonder when the barber shop around me, how he makes money. He buys this, he services his jet. At times I call him, I said, Mr. Mike. His name is Mike. I said, how do you make money? Because for me, I'm passionate about it. I'm surprised that how could this man make money? So if the smallest business cannot even survive, what about the bigger businesses that you need giant turbines to run? And you run this thing on diesel. For me, it is a miracle that this company survives. So the question of, do I think the companies will leave? They have started arranging their bag and baggage to leave. Because, do you know why? There is nothing they could hold on. They are even passionate enough. They are even sympathetic enough. They are even patriotic enough, even when they are not Nigerians. Because there is nothing the country is bringing on board that could assuage the pain. That could tell them that the country is thinking right. That could tell them if we enjoy in the next few years, things will get better. There is no policy on ground. Nothing. Everything is done wishy-washy. So the problem here is that there are leaders who are supposed to be our thinkers are not thinking for us. Mike, does it not even hurt you? I do not work in the construction or whether manufacturing sector, but it pains me knowing fully well that my brothers and sisters' jobs are now at risk, and in no time we shall be having hundreds of thousands of Nigerians being laid off just because a country that's supposed to be supportive with everything the country has to ensure that the foreign direct investors come in their droves and they are here and kept. We are not even doing anything. We are playing and treating these issues with levity.
We're not treating it.
The consequences.
Emeka and Wokocha, I'll play with you too. No, we're not treating it with just levity itself, but it will make a whole lot of sense if our leaders tend to, or rather listeners tend to understand the reasons they gave for leaving. Because let's put a perspective to this. Now let's come to some of the reasons that most of these multinationals are really departing the shores of this land. And one of the reasons, P&G, let's look at the reasons they gave and what their chief financial officer said during the weekend. Now, the reason he gave for them shutting down the manufacturing sector is the issue of forex. So he said, and the difficulty in getting dollar to buy raw materials. And even when they get that dollar, It comes at a very high cost.
Good.
Now, that is one in many. He also said that another major thing that they are leaving is that apart from the exchange rate, it is quite difficult to maintain a profit margin in this country.
Good.
So he said. Now let's look at that and other major reasons that they are hesitating. Because why I'm asking this question, 15 years ago, this same P&G viewed Nigeria as a strategic country of importance and invested millions of dollars in their ultra-modern chain supply structure in Agbara, which sadly now is up for sale, as they said during the weekend. So my question is, let's look at the problem he highlighted, the issue of Forex. Because he said without raw materials, majorly they cannot continue. And we're talking about many things they do. They are the makers of Gillette, they are the makers of Pampers. Always, in case people don't know who these people we're talking about is, these are the makers of all of these products. So let's try to understand Forex and how difficult it is to get in the country as it stands.
Good. Did you still tell those watching us that the Agbara plant, as it were, is sitting on 25 hectares? That tells you the massive investment
they put there. Multi-billion dollars.
That most countries would go on their knees
to beg for.
I feel like crying. Forex, getting money, because these are investments, that deals with dollars.
Of course.
Now, you are operating in a country that gave you license. There would have been a lot of discussions if that brought Procter & Gamble into this country, which in the 15 years back, they saw Nigeria as a country with prospects for investment. Good. They are now called. Countries should have policies that protect their investments. True or false?
True.
Are those policies here? If the policies were mooted, have they been put on ground? See, multinationals don't just quit the scene. They are here for money. Nigeria is 220 million estimated population.
Which is a good market.
Which is a good market. Can't find anywhere
in Africa.
So Nigeria automatically will ought not to be crying for investors. Just do the needful. Government policies are the ones that are making it difficult for them to access Forex. And the government is aware that these policies are becoming antagonistic, because when the people cannot do business again, that means you are automatically or indirectly asking them to leave my shores. So what's wrong with the government? The policies are meant, to foster growth, not to stifle growth. When you begin to see the signs, even if you did it without understanding, and you're not seeing the effects coming,
you should have a rating.
Should I not tell you to go back to the drawing board and do a reverse? Because you even need to give them some kind of rebate for them to stay. Some countries give them tax leave for them to remain your country. Do you know how many numbers of people Procter & Gamble has employed? And sadistically, about 4 million Nigerians enter the unemployment market every day, which the economy cannot accommodate. Are you not bothered? So how would you accommodate all these humongous troubles? Troubles in the east, troubles in the west, troubles in the north, troubles in the south, and troubles within the Aso Rock. For me, these things are simple. If the government has a heart of gold and understands that it is convoked to run the affairs of this country, the interest of this country is supposed to be paramount. We are not supposed to be shouting what we are shouting. The president is supposed to be the one shouting the way I am shouting. Don't leave. Because if you leave, the crisis will follow us. Can you withstand the crisis? Currently we have enough which we can't even withstand. Why would you want them to leave? How many have left? Over the 10 months. Equino
5
had left. Unilever had left. Sanofi Aventis had left. Look at them leaving within 10 months, Mr. Mike. That one left is enough for an emergency
to be declared.
And
so, we'll not declare any emergency now, but we'll still talk about it, and I'll plead with you to hold on. Let's go on a break, and when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered on multinationals' plans of leaving. Some have already left, and what consequences are there for the biggest economy in Africa.